Hello everybody, how y'all doing? This is Siam Maxey, aka the Mortgage Maven, NMLS number 1093963, and I am back with another episode of simple information about mortgages. Thanks for joining. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hey y'all, hey. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Thank you for joining today. All right, so y'all know I like to start my podcast off with a song. And tonight, the song is Opportunities by the Pet Shop Boys. And I love a lot of things about this song. So it says, I've got the brains, you got the look, let's make lots of money. That's the hook. Okay, then he talks about I've had enough of scheming and messing around with jerks. My car is parked outside. I'm afraid it doesn't work. I'm looking for a partner. That's the word I want you to think about. I want to put emphasis on partner. Someone who gets things fixed. Ask yourself a question. Do you want to be rich? Then it goes back to the hook, and then the next verse says, oh, there's lots of opportunities if you know where to take them. You know there's a lot of opportunities. If there aren't, you can make them. Okay? Emphasis on that. And then the last line in this song that I love is, you can see I'm single-minded. I know what I could be. How you feel about it. Come and take a walk with me. I'm looking for a partner regardless of expense. Think about it seriously. You know it makes sense. And then it says, I've got the brains, you got the looks. Let's make lots of money. And so tonight on this episode of Simple Information About Mortgages, we're going to talk about making lots of money. In our theme of generational wealth, we're going to stay in that theme, but we're going to take it to the next level. But before we do, we got to talk about the chatter in the streets. OMG, there is a lot of it. It is surrounding me on social media. I have gotten so many DMs asking me questions. So I hope that we could actually get to our segment, but I want to spend some time real quick talking about the chatter. But before I do, let me tell you, I released my book April 20th on Amazon, and I am on the best-selling author list. So thank you everyone who has purchased the book. In fact, I have some real estate agents who have purchased multiple copies, and they have been bringing them to my office for me to autograph and put well wishes in there. So thank you, Dana. Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Clarissa. Thank you, Vaishal. And, thank you, Coleman. So he has not purchased his, but he put in the order and he's waiting for them to come. And so I am grateful that you all think enough of me and the information that I provide to purchase my book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those who haven't or did not know, the link will be below for you to hit to go to Amazon and purchase the book. Okay, back to the chatter. So it's a lot of good stuff going on in the street. So let's address them one by one. FHA and the 40-year mortgage. True or false? True or false? That's the chatter in the streets. And one of my clients, Jeremy, said on a couple of my episodes, I said cheddar instead of chatter. Well, you know I speak really fast at times, so I apologize if it came out that way. But I'm talking about the chatter, the gossip, the tea, the scoop, all that's going on in the street. And I heard that FHA was offering a 40-year mortgage come May 1st. That is not a true statement. Now, the 40-year mortgage already exists. It came out during the pandemic. There were so many people that had loans that needed modification that instead of having a foreclosure crisis, the federal government decided to allow FHA to expand some of the loans to 40 years. Primarily those were government loans. I don't know if USDA fell into that category, but definitely VA and FHA. So some people got loan modifications, which allowed them to expand their term from 30 years to 40 years. So that is one of the things. Number two, there will not be a new 40-year mortgage loan for first-time home buyers or purchase buyers. If you are purchasing a house, there is not a 40-year mortgage program out there. Point blank, there is not. So that addresses that chatter there. Okay, the next piece of chatter, FHFA, loan level pricing adjustments. Now, we found out about the loan level adjustments back in February. Who knew that the media was going to get on them and exaggerate them and do some of the things that they're doing? So the question is people with higher credit paying a penalty, being charged more for having great credit? That's kind of a trick question, because people with lower credit, I'm trying to find the easiest way to explain this. In the past, people with lower credit was charged a premium pricing because of their lower credit. The easiest way for me to explain what's going on with FHFA, that's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that's their federal housing thing. Anyway, the easiest way for me to explain it is to explain the pricing will pretty much be the same for all, no matter what your credit score is. That's probably the easiest thing. But if you're a first-time home buyer, you have great credit, and you're putting 5% or less down, you really wasn't affected by the change that's happening. It was other people. And I won't say that they're being charged more. I'll just say that they're not given the privilege as they once were given for having great credit. They are now priced among price just like everyone else. There is a pricing adjustment for certain things, and they fall into that category. There's not special pricing if you have excellent credit. That is probably the best way that I can explain it. So to answer the question, are you being charged more? You're not being charged more. You're not being penalized for having great credit, but you're also not being rewarded. Okay. And I'll try to put some information in the feed below as well. Okay. What else? Oh my God, the fraud. So they were stating that, I can't remember exactly the article, but there's so much fraud going on. And someone called, I told her I wouldn't say her name, but let me just, AJ. And AJ's question was, she went to a builder, and what another lender was not able to do, the builder was able to do. And one of the reasons the builder was able to do it is because the taxes were different with the builder than was with the retail banker. And now there's an investigation. And the investigation is open not because the builder charged her unimproved land taxes, but because of the documentation that was added to her income. She didn't provide it, but when she did the application and she saw it, she did not state that that information wasn't hers or accurate. So she is in trouble, and so is the builder. And so the level of fraud out there is real. People, review your application. Don't be so desperate to get into a house that you're willing to overlook something, because you can and will be investigated. I'm choosing my words carefully because you're not necessarily going to jail, but there is ramifications for everything. So please just be mindful of the things that you're doing and the way that you're doing them. Maybe you're not providing the documents, but if you were denied by several lenders and all of a sudden one can do them, and you see some information. I need you to read, because that's one of the problems. People don't read. They don't pay close attention to what's going on, and they really need to, because there are penalties. There are cashier's check fraud. There's wire fraud with title companies. There's pay stub and W-2s, and God forbid when your W-2 don't match your pay stub and you try to buy a house and one lie gets overlapped over another lie. Stop the lies. Do your part and get done and getting your house the right way so you can keep it and leave it for your family and families to come. That's how we set up generational wealth. One of the problems, in my opinion, this is my opinion, is that we don't take the time to read and ask questions, or we research everything to death that we confuse ourselves, because everything on the internet is not accurate. Everything on the internet is not true. Okay, so what else will we have? Oh, Rodney Jordan today sent me, this is the chatter in the street. I told you it was a lot. He sent me something about an investigation that's been going on up in Long Island about how, and I wanted to read this to you because it was deep. So it says, I wanted to point this out to you because I found, it says 25 undercover testers, 93 real estate agents tested, 240 hours secretly recorded, 5,763 houses analyzed over a 3-year period of time of unequal treatment. And so for some of us, we think that racism is only about black and white. But according to this investigation, 19% of Asians, 39% of Hispanics, and 49% of African Americans were discriminated against in the housing market up in Long Island. Now, I don't have all the details, but the article link will be listed below. You can check it out, investigate it. But I just want to say this. Everything is not black and white. Yes, it does say that 49% of the people that was discriminated against was African Americans. It does say that, and that is still a problem. And so in my upcoming book, The Truth, we're going to address some of these items. Excuse me. We're going to address some of this information, and we're going to have some solutions on how we can stop some of the discriminatory habits that people have. We're not going to get away with stopping racism. It's just not going to happen. There's always going to be bigots. Excuse me. And some of those bigots are us. And so we have to be careful when we're pointing the finger, because sometimes we have to point the finger inwardly and look in the mirror. Okay? But it does exist. It's not acceptable. It's real. Those articles came out and it exposed what we have already known and had already spoken about. So let's dive into that again. So now, guys, I'm at 13 and a half minutes. I know that y'all don't like long podcasts, so we're going to put off to next week my generational wealth thing. But I just want to say, it's a lot of chatter out there. It's a lot of mortgage news. And as we come into the home buying season, it increases greatly during this time. So just be mindful when you're doing those loan applications. Make sure that the information on there is as accurate as possible. And if it's not a denial doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. And sometimes we have to put things together and do our due diligence. And as we do that, our no become yeses over time. Also, mind your budget. Mind your budgets. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. Speak up and report any action of discrimination that you may feel. And it doesn't matter who it's coming from. Let's just speak on it. Call it out and try to decrease that as much as we possibly can. There are no 40-year mortgages for purchase business. That is only for loan modifications of existing buyers. It is something that will be discussed in FHA's meeting, but it is not. And with FHFA, We're not penalizing you for having great credit. We're just no longer awarding you. That's the best summation I have. Hey guys, this has been Siam Maxey, aka the Mortgage Maven, NMLS number 1093963. Text me at 713-320-1876. Email me, themortgagemaven@yahoo.com, or leave a message on Spotify. I respond. Ask the buyers. Thank you guys. I appreciate you stopping by. Hey, and grab my book, Home Buying Basics, Finding Your Path to Home Ownership. Have a great evening, and thanks for stopping by.